Good morning, students. This is KG Misra, and I have come with the next topic for class 12th. Okay, we know that the chapter which is going on, that is current electricity, and the today's topic is Wheatstone Bridge. Okay, this is Wheatstone Bridge. Actually, it is named after the name of the scientist. Okay, who has discovered this. Okay, that is Charles Wheatstone. Okay, and this is actually arrangement of four registers along the four arms of you can say uh, rhombus. Okay, and what is its principle? Here galvanometer is connected, here the battery is connected of EMF E. Okay, now what is the statement, what is the principle of this? Okay, just note it down. It states that when no current is flowing, it states that when no current is flowing through the galvanometer, then P by Q is equals to R by S. Okay. When no current is flowing through the galvanometer, then P by Q is equals to R by S. Okay. See, P is the value of the resistance of this resistor, Q is the value of that resistance. Okay. R is the value of this resistance, and S is the value of this resistance. Okay. So this condition is there in the Wheatstone bridge. When no current flows through the galvanometer, then we get P by Q is equals to 1 by S. And this is very useful actually. We use the Wheatstone bridge to find the resistance of an unknown resistor. Because see, if one arm resistance is not known, suppose here it is not known or here it is not known, and all the remaining three are known, then very easily we can find out its value. And very accurately we can find out its value. Okay. So this is used, and based on this concept, devices are framed. Okay, which are very much utilized. Okay. So now we have to prove this. This was the statement of Wheatstone bridge. This is the diagram, and we need to prove it. Okay. Now for proving, suppose the current which starting from here, that is I. Obviously current will start like this, and this I current when it is here junction, it gets distributed. Okay. Suppose here it is I1, and then here it will be I minus I1. Okay. Because I1 has gone this side, total was I, so remaining is I minus I1. Now this I minus I1 reaches here. Okay. And then suppose this I2, okay, flows through this. When I2 is flowing through this, what we will get? Remaining is how much? Total was I minus I1 in this one. Okay. And from I minus I1, I2 has got down. So we are left with I minus I1 minus I2. Okay. That will be flowing through this. Now here we have got I2. Okay. Here it is I1. I1 and I2 combine together to form I1 plus I2, and that flows through this and reaches here. So I1 plus I2 is reaching here, and I minus I1 minus I2 is reaching here. When they will get added up, so I1 I2 is removed and only I is left. So I will be passing through this, and that I will reach here to the negative terminal. Okay. So this is the we have drawn the path of the indicated the path of the current through this bridge, okay, or through this mesh or through this circuit. Okay. Now we need to apply the Kirchhoff's rule, loop rule. Okay. So for applying Kirchhoff's loop rule, we have to decide the direction of motion, that is clockwise. Okay. So we can do one thing, rather writing A, B, C, D. Okay, we can write 1 also. That becomes very easy for us. Okay. But no problem, we are going to write that. Okay. So we are going to apply the loop rule on the loop ABDA. ABDA, this loop. And we are moving in clockwise direction. Okay. Now see, while we start moving, we are crossing this conductor, okay, this resistor. So direction of our motion and direction of current, both are same. So potential drop will be what? It will be positive. And current is I minus I1, resistance is P. So we get I minus I1 into P. Okay. When we move ahead, see, we are going like this. Okay, we get this galvanometer. The resistance of the galvanometer is capital G. Okay, and current is I2. And see, both direction of current and direction of motion both are same. So again, here also the potential drop will be positive. So it will be I2 into G, because G is the resistance of galvanometer. Okay. When we are moving like this, we are heading towards this, but the current is in the opposite direction. See, we are in this direction, it is in this direction, opposite. So potential drop in this resistance will be negative. What is the current here? It is I1. And what is the resistance of this? It is R. So we get minus I1 into R. Okay, that is equal to 0. Okay, because why 0? Because there is no EMF source in this loop. Do you find any EMF source, any battery, any potential difference applied? No. So what you can write from here? You can write from here I minus I1. So it is P plus I2 into G is equals to, we can take this that side, so we get I1 into R. This is our equation number 1. Okay, this is our equation number 1. Got it? Now next we have to again apply the Kirchhoff's loop rule on the loop, next loop. Okay, so again I am writing, applying loop rule on loop, that is B, C, D, G. On this B, C, D, B, this we are going to apply. Let's again move in the clockwise direction. What is the problem in that? Okay, let's see what happens. See, while crossing this, we are moving in this direction, but current is in opposite direction. So what we'll take? We will take the potential drop here as negative. Current is I2, resistance is G. So we can write minus I2 into G. Okay. While moving like this, we are going like this, and the current is also in the same direction through the resistor. See, this is the direction of current, and this is our direction of motion. Okay. So the potential drop is positive. Current is I minus I1 minus I2. Okay. So current is I minus I1 minus I2, and the resistance is Q. So we can write plus I minus I1 minus I2, and current is Q. Okay. Now, as we move ahead, we find this resistor, we are moving in this direction, current is in the opposite direction. So we can say here the potential drop will be negative. Current is I1 plus I2, and resistance is S. So we can write minus I1 plus I2 into S. And is there any EMF source in this also? No. So we can write equal to 0. Okay. So we got the second equation also. Now see, we don't require the diagram anymore, because already we have derived the equations. Now we have to deal mathematically. Okay. So I am going to remove the diagram. Okay. See, in this expression, what we are having, minus I2G is there in the beginning, and here we are having minus I1, I2, S. So all the negatives we can take other side. Okay. So let's see what we get. We are left with this one, that is I minus I1 minus I2. Okay. Into Q, and that is equals to I2G, and this will also come this side. It will come plus I1 plus I2 into S. This is our equation number 2. Okay. Got it? Now, what is the condition actually according to the statement of Wheatstone-Bridge? When no current is flowing through the galvanometer. Okay. And which current was flowing through the galvanometer? So what we can write? When no current flows through galvanometer. Through that is I2 is equal to 0. So what about the equation 1? This is our equation 1. When I2 is 0, then this I2 will become 0. We will get what? Okay. So equation 1 becomes just place 0 instead at the place of I2 in equation 1. So this part will disappear because 0 into G is 0. So we are having I minus I1 into P equal to I1 into R. So I minus I1 into P equals to I1 into R. This is our equation number 3. See, that's what you will get. Placing 0 at the place of I2. Okay. Now, I think this side also I can remove. Okay. And equation 2 becomes, let's see what equation 2 becomes when I2 is 0. So you place I2 0 here, this I2 will disappear. We will have how much? I minus I1 into Q. Okay. I minus I1 into Q. And that equal to sign is there. And here I2 is 0, so this I2 into Z, 0 into G is 0. So that is over. What about here? I1 plus I2. So I2 is 0, so 0 plus I1 is how much? I1 only. So we will get I1 into S. I1 into S. That's what we got. This is our equation number 4. Okay. Now, dividing equation 3 by equation 4, we get, let's see what we get. So 3 is I minus I1 into P. Here what is there? I minus I1 into Q equal to I1 into R is there. Here what is there? I1 into S. I1 I will cancel out. This cancel out. We are having P by Q is equal to R by S. This is the proof of this Wheatstone bridge. Okay. Okay. See, next is what is sensitivity of this Wheatstone bridge. Okay. See, sensitivity of Wheatstone bridge is that when you are changing any resistance of any one arm, 4 arms are there. Out of 4 arms, if you are changing the resistance of any one arm by very small amount, and for that, in response, the galvanometer is showing a large deflection, then we say that Wheatstone bridge is very sensitive. Okay, and if it is showing very small deflection, then we say that it is less sensitive. Okay. Now see, for making this Wheatstone bridge more sensitive, what is required? The required thing is that see, what is the condition for sensitivity? Suppose in these arms, you are going to apply this. Here you are going to connect a wire whose resistance is not known to you. Okay, you are connecting here a wire whose resistance is unknown. Okay, let it be X. So how to make this Wheatstone bridge more sensitive? See, condition is that as you know, there is no current flowing through the galvanometer, so presence or absence of galvanometer is not going to affect the resistance. Now see, with this resistor is connected in series, and what about these two? These two are connected in parallel with this. So for the Wheatstone bridge to be more sensitive, the condition is that the resistance which is connected with the unknown resistance must be greater than the resistances which are connected in the parallel combination. The total resistance in parallel, so this should be less than the total resistance in series connected with X. That means I mean to say that P must be greater than R plus S. That is the condition for more sensitiveness of the Wheatstone bridge. When this condition is achieved, then obviously it will be more sensitive. Okay. See, using Wheatstone bridge is very advantageous. Why? See, first thing, we are using null point method. That means it is not showing any current. So no current is flowing through it. So current is not going to affect the resistance. Okay, which you are going to measure. First thing. Second thing, this cell is there. Cell might have some internal resistance through in it. That will also not affect. Okay, and we are not using ammeter or voltmeter over here. Okay. so their resistance also will not affect. As no current is passing through galvanometer, so resistance of galvanometer also will not affect. Okay, so whatever resistance we are getting of this unknown resistor, that is more accurate value of it. Okay, because the resistance of other devices are not influencing it, not affecting it. Okay, so that's why it is very advantageous to use Wheatstone bridge. Okay, now next topic is meter bridge or slide wire bridge. Okay, why it is called meter bridge and why it is called slide wire bridge, I will tell you, don't worry. Let's first see its structure. It is very simple device. Okay, there is a wooden plank, you can see this is the wooden base. Okay, on this wooden base, you can see it is the wooden base like this. Okay, it is the wooden base. Okay, this is the wooden base. On this wooden base, what is there? See, these are the metallic strips. Okay, this is a metallic strip, this is also metallic strip, this is also metallic strip. Okay, now this is also, why these metallic strips are thicker? Because see, when area of cross section is more, then resistance is less, and these are working as a connecting wires. Okay, because these metallic strips, so that's why to reduce their resistance, their area is made more, so that their resistance becomes less. Okay, okay, now see, here there is a scale is there, 1 meter scale, 1 meter means 100 centimeter, and here is the wire, conducting wire. Okay, right, not conducting wire means it is a resistance wire. Okay, made up of nichrome or this tungsten. Okay, or some other alloy. Okay, which has got high resistivity. Now, how we connect this? Because this is very simple. See what we do. Actually, we connect here a resistance box, using which we can introduce whatever resistance we want. Okay, this is called resistance box RB. So whatever resistance we are introducing through this resistance box, that is known to us. Okay, so that's why we sometimes call it R. Okay, we connect here the wire whose resistance we have to find out. We call it X because it is unknown. Okay, actually it is your S. Okay, according to the Wheatstone bridge. Here there is a knob which we connect to a galvanometer, and the other side of the galvanometer is connected to a metallic piece is there, copper piece is there, which is known as jockey. Okay, jockey is J. It is connected to jockey J. Okay, now whatever resistance introduced through this, that is R. Whatever resistance we will find of this, that is X instead of S. Okay, and wherever you find, when we have to slide this jockey over this wire. Okay, and wherever, when you are sliding, you will find sometimes this galvanometer is showing deflection toward that side. When you move again ahead, it will show deflection this side. At certain point, you will find it is showing no deflection, and that point is known as balancing point. Okay, suppose that point is, this is the balancing point B. So distance from this end is suppose L. So what will be this distance? This will be 100 minus L. Okay, this will be 100 minus L centimeter from here to this end. Okay, now what happens? Let us mark this A, not this is not B. Okay, is balancing point B. Okay, and this as C. Okay, so in this way, what we do, actually this L is proportional to P, you know, P by Q, and this is proportional to Q. This is not written anywhere, you have to keep in your mind so that it will be helpful to you. And then this is connected to a battery like this. this is driving battery. Driving means which drives it. Okay, which is what E. This battery is to drive this. Okay, so you have to find out the balancing point. Okay, now see, you can draw this and write the working principle. Start writing. Its working principle is based on the principle of Wheatstone bridge. That is, when no current is flowing through galvanometer, then P by Q is equals to R by X. This implies that X is equals to R into Q by P. This formula we can use to find the resistance of unknown resistor. Okay. See, this wire is uniform. Okay. Same area of cross section. Second thing, its resistance per unit length is same. So what we can say? We can say that its resistance P will be proportional to L, or we can write P is equals to some constant into L. Okay. In the same way, we can write Q will be proportional to 100 minus L, or we can write Q is equal to the same constant into 100 minus L. Okay. So here what we are having? We are having ratio. So ratio if we are taking, then what will happen? It is Q by P. It will be how much? Value of Q is this much. That is K 100 minus L by P. That is K into L. This K cancels out. What we are left with? 100 minus L by L. That we can place at this place. Okay. So I am going to place it over there only. I can remove this. Okay. So this X becomes 100 minus L by L into R. This R we have multiplied here. This is the formula to get the resistance of unknown resistor. Because R you will be knowing, because whatever resistance you are introducing, that is known to you. Okay. L, the balancing length you are finding from this side. From which side to find the balancing length? Remember, the balancing length has to be found out from that end, from where the positive terminal is connected. Okay. And on the same side, you have to connect this resistance box also. The unknown resistance has to be connected on the other side, at which the negative terminal is connected. Okay. Take care of this. And what else? This resistance must be greater than the resistance of the wire, because you know sensitivity is more when the resistance with the unknown resistance in series is more than the resistance in parallel. Okay, remember that. So this formula we can use to find the resistance of a wire whose resistance is unknown. Okay. Okay. See, one thing actually we missed, no, that is, in case of Wheatstone bridge, this is the Wheatstone bridge, we are very much aware of this. Generally people ask question, okay, if the position of galvanometer and battery is changed or exchanged, then what will happen? Okay. In case of meter bridge also they ask this question. If the position of battery and this battery or cell and the galvanometer are exchanged, then what will happen? So the answer is that, see, if you are going to exchange the position of battery, you are not going to connect here, you are going to connect it here like this, and this as like this, and galvanometer you are not connecting here, you are going to connect it like this. What will happen? The answer is that when the position of battery and galvanometer are exchanged, then it does not affect the condition of the bridge. Okay, when the position of battery and galvanometer is exchanged, then it does not affect the condition of the bridge. Full stop. In case of meter bridge, due to exchange of position of battery and galvanometer, the balancing length remains unaffected. The balancing length remains unaffected. Okay, clear? So this is a very important point which it is asked in one mark question. Okay. What else is there? The area of cross section of the wire of meter bridge is uniform. Okay, and it is made up of a certain alloy which has got high resistivity, because we require resistance, no, in that. Okay. So now let us take up a question on a meter bridge. Okay. Actually, this question was asked in board examination. Okay. See, this is your meter bridge, as usual, RS. Okay, and this is jockey, and this is the distance wire, and connected to the EMF source. K is there. What is there in the question? No? First, when in this condition, when the balancing length is found, then it is found to be 60 centimeter. Okay. So what we can write? Can we write? P by Q is equals to R by S. Okay. So P by Q, what we know? P is proportional to L. Okay. So that means P is proportional to 60. Okay. And the same way, Q is will be proportional to how much? 100 minus L. And that is Q is proportional to 100 minus 60. That is how much? Q is proportional to 40. So from here, if we write, we can put the value over here. So what we will get? P is 60, Q is 40, and that is equals to R by S. Okay. 0, 0 can be cancelled out. 2 to the 4, 2 3 the 6. So what we are getting? R by S is equals to 3 by 2. This is our equation 1. Okay. Just note it down. Done. Okay. Now the second condition is that when 5 ohm connected in series with S. So with S resistance, we are going to connect 5 ohm resistor in series. So what will be the new resistance of resistor S? It will be S plus 5. Okay. And then the balancing length we are getting is 50 centimeter. Okay. So just remember this. R by S is 3 by 2. And we can move ahead. So when 5 ohm is connected, then we can write P by Q is equals to R by S plus 5. Okay. Now again, P by Q will be how much? You know, P is L, L is how, L dash is how much? 50. Okay. Or you can write here simply L dash 100 minus L dash. Okay. So L dash is 50 and 100 minus L dash is how much? 100 minus 50. That will get 50 by 50. That is 1. So what you will get? You can put this value 1 over here. So what you will get? Let's see. You will get 1 is equals to R by S plus 5. Okay. So from here you can get R is equals to S plus 5. This is our equation 2. Okay. We got the equation 1 as well as equation 2. Okay. Equation 1 is R by S is 3 by 2. And equation 2 is R is equal to S plus 5. Now there are 2 equations and 2 unknowns. Can we find it out? I think I can remove the diagram now. See. We can put that value of R over here, or we can do one thing from here. When R by S is 3 by 2, okay. So R is how much? R is 3 by 2S, and we can put this value in equation 2. Okay. So you write from equations 1 and 2, we get 3 by 2s is equals to s plus 5. Okay, this is also value of r, that is also value of r. Okay, so now we can do one thing. We can cross multiply, you get 3s is equals to 2 will get multiplied this side, so 2s plus 10, because 2 5 is 10, so 2s will go that side, so 3s minus 2s is equals to 10. So s is equals to how much? 10 ohm. S we have got. Now we need to find out r. So r is how much? 3 by 2s. So r is equals to 3 by 2 into 10. 2 5 ja and 5 3 ja 15. So what we got? 15 ohm. This is the value of r. Okay. So in this way we can solve the numericals related to meter bridge. You just solve, and whatever doubts you are having you can ask me, or you can write in the comment box. Okay, you will take picture and you can send over there. Okay, that's all for this video. I will come to the next video with the remaining topics. Till then, keep on watching, keep on studying, take care of yourself. Okay, bye bye.